If you aspire to be a better speech evaluator in Toastmasters, here are some common mistakes to avoid. First of all, let's not go over time. When you are given allocated a time limit, let's stick to the time. In our speech evaluation, if we talk longer than our original speaker, that's obviously not good. And at the same time, if the audience feel that you are recapping too much of the speech, you are repeating too much and not going to the point, that's not going to help. In a speech evaluation contest, typically we need to evaluate within that 3-minute time frame. So it is in our interest to stay within time, otherwise we will be disqualified. We wanted to add value too much, but if it is in the expense of going over time or repeating too much, that's not going to help. That leads us to another common mistake, recapping or repeating too much of content. While it is necessary to recap certain things that the person did well and explain what happened or certain areas that this person can improve by recapping, giving some evidence, let's not repeat too much of the content. It used too much of the time, and if you are competing with other speakers, that means others would probably have recapped some, and that would be too repetitive for the audience. The audience probably don't need to listen to the same speech for the second time from another person. So let's just paraphrase or select elements that are useful and do not repeat the entirety of the speech. A third common mistake that we often see is the evaluator tend to mind read. We are just Toastmasters and probably not mind readers. If you see somebody shaking on stage, it may not be fair to comment that the person is not confident. That's a judgment, that's mind reading. They may be shaking because they are cold. They may be shaking because they're excited. We do not know that for a fact. Let's be supportive. If the person is not projecting their voice, again, let's not assume that they do not have a strong voice or they're not confident to pronounce certain words. You can find many more examples in a typical Toastmasters meeting because some evaluators tend to mind read. Let's start from ourselves. Let's catch ourselves in action. Are we being fair in commenting what are the observable behaviors that we saw or the content of the person is speaking? Or are we mind reading, judging, and making assumptions that are possibly not fair to the speakers? At the end of the day, we want to help the person to improve and build their confidence. We just comment on what we saw and what we hear without mind reading. Another common mistake that we see is the evaluator has no plan. We know it. Before the speaker delivers a speech, we kind of don't know how we should approach or angle the particular evaluation because we should not write our evaluation speech before the speaker has given theirs. Having said that, we need to have a plan of some sort in the way how we capture notes, in the way how we organize our Toastmasters evaluation speech, so that it would be a logical process for us to collect evidence. And at the same time, we want to present this evidence in a very logical manner and help ourselves, the speakers, and everybody in the room to improve. We should have a plan of some sort, follow some simple frameworks such as command, recommend, command, CRC, and start building on that. Have a plan of some sort in how do you take notes, how do you organize and categorize the notes, and then present it in a strong verbal presentation, as well as speaking to the speaker after the meeting so that they get a chance to clarify what do you mean by this feedback. In this way, we help each other to learn. So have a plan. The final common mistake that we may want to avoid is we lie to ourselves that we are not ready. Sometimes we wait too long until we put up our hands to be a speech evaluator or individual evaluator in the Toastmasters meeting, or we refuse to sign up in speech evaluation contest. Evaluation can help us improve because we listen attentively and methodically to the speaker, and we analyze what are some of the elements that we can learn from the speakers, as well as areas that we can help the person to improve. So in a way, it helps both the speaker and ourselves mutually. The sooner you started the path of evaluating other speakers, the better you will become in your own speech craft, as well as becoming a better evaluator. Once you have the mindset, you can develop the skill set and collect the knowledge along the way, and you will just become a better and better evaluator if you have decided to start evaluating. When we improve our game in speech evaluation, the quality of the Toastmasters meeting improves. Let's become better and better speech evaluators.